the main impact of having the pins, I think it stopped the yelling in my ear that I wasn't doing enough. And in the end, I don't think I could have gotten better, and I think I have gotten much, much better, unless that voice stopped yelling at me. Because if the voice had continued to yell at me, I probably would have eventually killed myself, because the yelling was do more, and the main requirement was to do less and do what I was doing, do what I really wanted to do in life better. Because I tend to be kind to most people, and it's nice to be kind to myself too, and to realize that in any given day I have about 2 hours. It's
in that point
I seem to have changed into a pattern, which I found very confusing. Was all of a sudden I was seeing everything from everybody's point of view.
Yeah. Well,
Arms and literally wanted to lynch me. Because I guess they found me pretty unsympathetic and a really tough taskmaster, and they simply didn't get me. And from my point of view, I didn't get them and didn't care, because I was the boss. And they simply didn't get me. And from my point of view, I didn't get them and didn't care, because I was the boss. Well, this strange thing is, but it seems seamless, and I don't know how it's worked. So from being somebody who was just, I guess because I'm a short little funny Jewish guy who didn't initially do well in school, so most of the things I did just did from force of personality and force of ideas, and certainly didn't have a kindly view of the people around me. And essentially I had something to accomplish. My dad died very young, so I had a very limited window of opportunity to accomplish them. And so from force of will and from being good at hustling money and grants and other things, so I always had the material resources to do things, and it was trying to get the people to understand what I was trying to do and to push it forward. So when when I realized that things were really going awry, because I had an practically unlimited amount of money, and I was surrounded by terrific people, but things were not going well. I didn't know the interpersonal stuff. I didn't notice a lot. Oh, but I think I had a revelation when my son was 14, and because I had a very unhappy upbringing, a very unhappy childhood, it occurred to me, because I've always been fast. My mouth has always been a loaded .45. That I realized somehow that I had to, my main thing of bringing up a teenager was you had to clamp your teeth firmly on your tongue, and you had to wait. And I've never been a patient person, because I thought I was going to be dead at 20 or 32. So I had to develop patience, because I found that if I slowed down and listened, which part of my cognitive failure forced me to do, that a lot more useful stuff would happen. So I turned, I guess for the first time, into a listener. The thing I still find I suffer from, and I find the pins alleviate, is I spent my life as a really, really tough guy. A lot of things I wanted to accomplish, didn't think I had a lot of time. So I tend to have I thought I had a skin of a rhinoceros, and I did some pretty interesting and pretty incredible things in a short amount of time. So I believe about, I guess it's a year ago, I came back for another. I feel brittle this morning, in fact, because when I have emotional things or people do things that upset me, I find it really sets me off and not feeling really well. So things bother me. But I know the things that upset me are things where I have problems in my emotional dealings with people. Because I'm not the old tough guy, but I'm not sort of very I'm not the old tough guy, but I'm not sort of very familiar with a new role.